Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're cutting straight to the heart of the current cybersecurity threat landscape.
Yeah,
Think of this as your essential briefing, really. What you need to know right now in this, well, constantly shifting digital world.
absolutely. And you're probably familiar with the basics, right? Cybersecurity concepts. Maybe you even remember floppy disks.
Oh, the floppy disk, like that old Yankee Doodle virus thing where you just played the song.
Exactly that kind of thing. Simple annoyances, mostly.
Right. Minor tech hassles. But, okay, let's unpack this, because comparing that to today,
Yeah.
it's like comparing a horse and buggy to a spaceship.
It really is. The sophistication now is just, it's on another level. We're seeing attacks that can cripple huge companies, government agencies, critical infrastructure even.
So our mission here for this deep dive is to get a solid grip on these complex threats and, crucially, understand who's behind them and, what makes them tick.
Exactly. Who are the players? What are their motivations?
And it's not just this, faceless blob of hackers. Our sources break it down into distinct groups. First up, nation-state actors.
Right. These are often about espionage, cyber warfare, governments basically trying to spy on or sabotage other nations digitally.
Stealing secrets, disrupting services, that kind of thing.
Precisely. Then you have hacktivists.
Okay, so their angle is different, more political.
Yeah, usually driven by ideology or a political agenda. They use cyber attacks as a form of protest almost, disrupting things they disagree with. Digital activism, but, illegal.
Got it. And then there's the big one, financially speaking, organized crime syndicates.
Ah, yes. For these groups, it's purely about money. Cold, hard cash.
Ransomware, stealing data to sell.
Exactly. Financial gain is the primary driver. It's a criminal enterprise, plain and simple.
And finally, one that can be tricky, insider threats.
Yes. This is tough because it comes from within an organization. It could be someone deliberately causing harm, maybe a disgruntled employee.
Or someone just making a mistake.
Yeah.
Or getting tricked.
Or being compromised without realizing it, yeah. So, a whole range of internal risks.
And it's interesting how those different motives, like you said, seem to shape the attacks. Nation-states might be stealthy, looking for long-term access.
While organized crime often wants that quick payout, hence the rise of ransomware, immediate financial return.
Right, which brings us nicely to some key terms. We hear these thrown around a lot. Let's start with the big one. Malware. What actually falls under that?
Malware is really the umbrella term. Think of it as any software designed to cause harm. To a computer, a network, a user.
They're like viruses?
Viruses, yeah, they attach to other programs. Worms, which can spread by themselves across networks. Trojans, those are the sneaky ones, disguised as legitimate software. It all counts as malware.
Okay. And ransomware, which you mentioned, is a specific type of malware, right?
Yeah.
What makes it so impactful?
Well, it's the directness, I think. It's essentially digital kidnapping of your data.
Kidnapping. Wow.
It encrypts your files, locks them up completely, and then demands a ransom payment, usually crypto, to get them back. Imagine losing everything until you pay. It's brutal.
Digital extortion. Okay. Then there's phishing. Sounds kind of harmless, but it's clearly a huge problem.
Oh, it's massive. Phishing is all about deception. Trying to trick people into giving up sensitive info.
Like passwords, credit cards.
Exactly. Passwords, bank details, logins. They send emails or messages that look real, maybe from your bank or a service you use, hoping you'll click a bad link or type in your details. It exploits trust.
So phishing uses specific messages, but it's part of a broader tactic called social engineering.
Precisely. Social engineering is the bigger picture. It's using psychological manipulation, playing on human nature, helpfulness, curiosity, sometimes fear to get access or information.
Like someone calling, pretending to be IT support to get your password.
That's a classic example, yes. Or maybe leaving an infected USB drive lying around, hoping someone picks it up out of curiosity. It's about manipulating the person, not just the computer.
Makes sense. And the last term here, denial of service attacks. I always picture just overwhelming something.
That's a good way to think about it. A denial of service, or DDoS if it's distributed, floods a target, a website, a server, a network with so much junk traffic.
Just tons of requests.
Tons and tons of requests, yeah. So many that it gets overwhelmed and can't respond to legitimate users anymore. It's like causing a massive traffic jam online so nobody can get through.
Okay, so we've got the actors, their motives, their basic tools, malware, ransomware, phishing, social engineering, DARAS, stall. Now let's zoom out. Our sources talk a lot about the expanded attack surface. What does that mean in practical terms?
Right, the attack surface. Basically, it's all the possible points where an attacker could try to get in, all the vulnerabilities.
And that surface has gotten bigger.
Oh, way bigger, dramatically bigger. Just think about how many devices we all have connected now compared to, say, 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's not just the computer on your desk anymore. It's your smartphone, smartwatch.
Your smart TV, your smart fridge, smart thermostat. The sources specifically mention the Internet of Things, IoT.
All those connected gadgets. Super convenient, but sounds like a potential nightmare security-wise.
Yeah.
Each one is another door.
Potentially, yes. That's the worry. Many IoT devices are built for cost and convenience first, maybe not with robust security as the top priority. So yeah, each one can be an entry point. It creates this huge landscape of potential vulnerabilities.
And it's not just personal devices. Businesses are moving more and more to the cloud, right? Storing data remotely. That changes the game too.
Absolutely. Cloud computing offers huge benefits, flexibility, scalability, but security is different. You're trusting a third-party provider with your data.
So you need to know their security measures.
You do. It becomes a shared responsibility. You need to understand what they handle and what you still need to secure. It's not just out of sight, out of mind.
And we can't forget mobile devices, our phones. They have everything on them.
They really do. Emails, banking apps, work documents, personal photos, they're treasure troves of data.
And maybe not always locked down as tightly as a work laptop.
Often, yes. They travel everywhere, connect to different networks. They're definitely prime targets.
Now, this isn't just, like, theoretical risk. The sources give some really stark examples. Not Petya, back in 2017. That wasn't small.
No, not Petya was huge. And what was really striking was how it spread. It started in Ukraine, but went global fast.
Hit major companies.
Major multinationals, yeah. Shipping companies, pharmaceutical giants, even hospitals. Billions in damages. It showed how interconnected everything is and how an attack somewhere specific can have these massive worldwide ripple effects. Essential services disrupted.
Wow. And more recently, we've seen this surge in ransomware hitting critical infrastructure. That sounds particularly bad.
It's deeply concerning. When ransomware hits a hospital or an energy grid or a pipeline, the impact goes way beyond just money.
Real-world consequences, people's health, safety.
Exactly. Access to patient records, keeping the lights on. These attacks can have tangible, potentially life-threatening effects. It's a serious escalation.
And then there was SolarWinds, late 2020. That one felt different, really sophisticated.
SolarWinds was a wake-up call for many. It was a supply chain attack.
Meaning they didn't attack the targets directly.
Right. They compromised a trusted software provider, SolarWinds, whose software was used by thousands of organizations. So by infecting the software update.
They got inside all those organizations.
Yeah.
Including government agencies.
A huge number of them, yes, including very sensitive government networks. It just showed the level of patience and sophistication some nation-state actors have, exploiting trust in the supply chain itself. Very sneaky, very effective.
These examples, they really drive home that we can't just sit back and wait to get hit. The sources stress moving from being reactive to proactive.
Right.
So what does proactive actually look like in cybersecurity?
Being proactive is about building defenses before the attack happens. Layers of defense. It starts with the basics, what they often call cyber hygiene.
Like strong passwords.
Strong, unique passwords for everything, absolutely. And multi-factor authentication, MFA, wherever you can enable it. That's second check.
Okay, what else?
Robust network security, obviously. Firewalls, intrusion detection systems, the technical barriers, but also, crucially, the human element.
Training people.
Training employees, yes. Making sure people can spot phishing emails, recognize social engineering tactics, because humans are often the entry point attackers target.
The weakest link sometimes.
It can be, yeah. So education is key. And finally, having a plan for when things do go wrong, an incident response plan.
Knowing what to do when you get breached, not if, but when.
Exactly. Having it planned out, tested, so you can react quickly and minimize the damage.
So multiple layers.
Yeah.
Tech, people, planning. Okay. Now, our sources hinted at where we're going next time. Sounds like we'll get deeper into the actual attacks.
Yes. Next time, we'll really dig into the specifics. We'll look at attack vectors, how attackers actually try to get in. The different methods.
Tactics, techniques.
Exactly. The TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures. We'll sort of dissect the anatomy of a typical cyber attack step by step. And we'll also talk about threat intelligence.
Understanding the specific threats you face.
Right. Knowing your enemy, essentially, so you can build better defenses against the threats that are most relevant to you.
Sounds like there's plenty more to cover, but this has been a really good overview, kind of setting the stage for the current landscape. And it really lands on that final point from the sources. Security isn't just for the IT folks anymore.
That's the big takeaway, isn't it? In this digital age, security is genuinely everyone's responsibility.
Makes you think, doesn't it? About your own devices, your own data.
Absolutely. So maybe something for you, the listener, to consider. What's your role in this? How secure is your own digital footprint? It really is a collective effort now.